so stressed for this anatomy test tomorrow. Miss Warren, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail so bad. Okay, so I know that synovial joints are joints in which the articulating bone ends are in a joint cavity and it contains synovial fluid. And anything to do with the diseases I have no clue about. Okay, what are the 4 distinguishing factors of synovial joints? Okay, articular cartilage and hyaline cartilage, a joint cavity that contains synovial fluid. It's connected by ligaments that helps reinforce the joint cavity, and there's a fibrous articular capsule that's inside. Okay, I know that. Okay. No way I'm gonna remember any more of this. I might as well just go to sleep. Oh my god, where am I? What even is this place? I thought I was sleeping.
Hey, Georgia, it's okay, calm down. Our friends are gonna help you with your joint test.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let's first figure out what joints are.
What are they?
Okay, well, joints also have another name. Articulations have 2 main functions, okay?
Alright.
Remember that.
Okay.
2 main functions.
2.
They help body movement, like so you can move around, move around, yeah. And also they help rigid skeleton with mobility.
Okay.
So just think of it like this. Without joints, you wouldn't be able to bend your hands.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, what's up, Reese?
Hey, so you just came from Ansley, but now I'm going to tell you the different types of joints, and we're going to start with fibrous joints. So basically, fibrous joints occur at the end of bones where fibrous tissue connects them. A good example of this is the structures in your skull.
Okay.
All right, do you feel like you're good with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it.
Okay, cool. So also these structures in your skull, they interlock and bound together, and they prevent movement. All right, cool. All right, so the other type of joint you need to know are the cartilaginous joints. And those joints, I'm sure you can guess, are where at the end of the bones, there's cartilage connecting them. So do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, where can I find a joint like this?
Okay, cool. That's a really good question. So you can find those in their spinal column, and you can also find them in between the ribs.
All right.
All right, I'm really proud of you. I think you're really getting this together. And now I'm going to send you on to Daniel, and he's going to teach you about how joints can affect your health.
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
What's up, Georgia? How you doing?
I'm good.
Alright, today I'm going to be teaching you about the 4 major types of joint diseases.
All right.
Well, Georgia, did you know that the vast majority of people don't even pay attention to their joints until there's actual pain?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, arthritis is the term for over 100 different inflammatory and degenerative diseases, and they all share the same symptoms, which are swelling, pain, and stiffness.
All right.
Next, we're going to talk about osteoarthritis.
I think my grandfather had that.
Well, actually, 85% of people in America develop it over time. It's a chronic disease when the articular cartilage breaks down over the years.
All right.
Now, let's move on to rheumatoid arthritis.
I think my grandmother had that.
Well, that's interesting because it actually affects 3 times as many women than it does men. And it happens when the serous membrane inflames. Lastly, we're going to talk about gout. And that's when uric acid builds up in the bloodstream and it forms crystallized structures in joints and it causes extreme pain. How are you feeling about diseases now?
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Alright, well I'm going to send you on to Dave now, so good luck.
All right.
Peace.
Hey, Davir.
Hey Jude, how are you?
I'm good.
You ready to learn about the type of joints?
Yep.
Alright, cool. So basically the first type of joint is a plane joint, and in this joint the articular surfaces are flat, which means it only allows short slipping and gliding motions, and also is non-axial, which means that it doesn't move around any axis, and an example would be the intercarpal joints of the wrist.
All right.
Alright, so basically the next type of joint is the hinge joint, and in this joint it's basically like a mechanical hinge. It's uniaxial, which means it only revolves around one axis, and an example would be the elbow or ankle joint.
All right, that's cool.
The next type of joint would be the pivot joint, and in this joint the rounded end of one bone fits into the sleeve of another, and it can only rotate around its long axis, which means it's uniaxial.
All right, where would I find a joint like that?
Basically you could find one in your neck which allows your head to rotate.
All right.
The candyloid joint is knuckle-like, which basically means the joint can move back and forth and side to side like a knuckle. And although it can't move along its long axis, it can move around 2 axes, which means it's biaxial. And again, an example would be your knuckle joint in your thumb.
Okay.
Another type of joint is the saddle joint, basically like a saddle, and is biaxial, and an example would be the carpa, metacarpal, joints in your thumb, and to show this, basically all you do is twiddle your thumbs, and that's the example I could give you.
Cool.
The last joint is the ball and socket, and in this joint, the spherical end of one joint fits into the round part of another bone, and basically it's multi-axial, which means it's movement around all axes. An example would be the hip bone, and the shoulder.
That makes sense.
Yeah, all right, Georgia, you can wake up now. Take that test.
Got it. Wow, I think I'm more prepared for this than I thought.